The 7 levels of super yachts. 2 boats sit in the same Monaco harbor. One cost $5 million, the other cost $600 million. From the dock, they are both white, both gleaming, both clearly expensive. But one is a weekend toy a wealthy man drives himself, and the other carries a crew of 70, a mini-submarine, 2 helicopter pads, and reportedly bulletproof glass. And almost nobody walking past on the quay knows how to tell them apart. So, today I'm breaking down the 7 levels of super yachts, from the entry-level boat that a merely rich person can own, all the way up to the largest private vessel ever built. And there is one number you need to hold in your head the entire way up, because it is the number the brokers bury in the fine print. A super yacht costs roughly 10% of its purchase price every single year just to keep it floating. Keep that in mind. Let us get into it. Level 1, the entry-level super yacht. The word super yacht technically applies to any private vessel over 24 meters, about 79 feet, that is fully crewed and custom fitted. At the bottom rung, 24 to 30 meters, you get a small professional crew, several cabins, and real coastal luxury. Prices start around $2 to $10 million. Here's the part the glossy listing does not put in bold. That purchase price is the cheap part. Apply the 10% rule, and even an entry-level super yacht costs hundreds of thousands of dollars a year in crew, fuel, dockage, insurance, and maintenance, whether you use it or not. This is the level where a lot of newly rich buyers get burned. They can afford to buy the boat. They cannot comfortably afford to own it. The smart entry buyer charters first, learns what they actually use, and only then buys. The mistake is falling in love at a boat show and signing before reading the annual running cost. Level 2, the 30 to 40 meter yacht. Cross into the 30 meter range, and the whole experience changes. And there is a specific reason why. At around 30 meters, the master stateroom can finally move up from the cramped lower deck to the main deck, with full windows and direct sea views. Now you have 40 to 130 feet of vessel, room for 8 to 12 guests, and a crew of 4 to 7. Prices run $10 to $30 million. These yachts handle long coastal runs and short open water crossings. This is the level of the genuinely wealthy business owner who has truly made it. Here's the honest take. This is arguably the smartest level on the entire list. It is large enough to host, cruise, and impress, but small enough that the running costs, while serious, will not quietly bankrupt you. The people who buy at this level and actually use the boat tend to stay happy. The ones who stretch to a bigger boat they cannot afford to run end up listing it within 3 years. Level 3, the 40 to 60 meter mega yacht. Above 40 meters, the boat enters mega yacht territory, and the whole thing transforms into something closer to a floating hotel. True multi-level living spaces, multiple decks, jacuzzis, tenders, water toy garages, and a full-time professional crew. A new mega yacht here averages $30 to $80 million. Here is what nobody tells the first-time buyer. At this size, you are no longer buying a boat. You are becoming the employer and manager of a small hotel staff. A captain, engineers, chefs, stewards, deckhands. People who live aboard and need to be paid, housed, and managed all year, even in the months you never set foot on board. The yacht is the easy part. The human resources operation behind it is the part that surprises everyone. This is where ownership stops being a hobby and becomes a serious logistical responsibility. Level 4, the 60 to 80 meter giga yacht. Above 60 meters, you reach the giga yacht category, the genuinely advanced end of the market with heavy customization and true global range. These cost $80 to $200 million. Helicopters on dedicated pads, multiple tenders, swimming pools, gyms, cinemas, and crews of 20 to 40. At this size, the yacht crosses any ocean and stays at sea for weeks. Here is the cost reality that stops people cold. Refits. Every 5 to 7 years, a giga yacht goes into the yard for a major refit, and that refit alone can cost tens of millions of dollars. So even after you have paid $150 million to buy it and $15 million a year to run it, every few years you hand over another small fortune just to keep it current. This is the level where the serious billionaire announces, without saying a word, exactly where they sit in the global hierarchy. Level 5, the 80 to 120 meter super yacht. Now we enter genuinely rare air. Yachts between 80 and 120 meters, roughly 260 to 400 feet, are owned by only a few hundred people on the entire planet. Prices run $200 to $400 million. Crews of 40 to 60, multiple pools, full medical facilities, sometimes private submarines for deep sea diving, Apply the running cost rule, and you're looking at $20 to $50 million a year just to operate, fuel measured in millions of liters, crew payroll, insurance, and constant maintenance. Here's the part that reframes everything. At this level, the yacht is effectively a 5-star resort with a permanent staff living aboard year-round, and you are paying full resort operating costs whether you are on it or not. Most owners at this level use their yacht only a few weeks a year. The math is staggering, but at this level, the people buying them have stopped doing that particular math. Level 6, the 150-meter class. Here we reach the named legends, the boats with their own Wikipedia pages. Roman Abramovich's Eclipse, built by Blohm & Voss in Germany. 162.5 meters, 533 feet, 2 helicopter pads, a mini-submarine, 3 landing boats, and a crew of 70. Here is the detail that tells you what this level really is. Eclipse was first estimated at around 330 million pounds, but by the time it was delivered, the cost had climbed close to $1 billion because of extra luxury fittings and security measures, reportedly including missile defense systems and bulletproof glass. The Sultan of Oman's Fulk al-Salama sits at 164 meters. These are not really yachts in any normal sense. They are private warships of luxury, built less for cruising than for being the largest, most secure, most untouchable object in any harbor they enter. At this level, the boat is a fortress that floats. Level 7, the largest yacht on Earth. At the absolute summit sits Azam. Built by the German shipyard Lürssen, launched in 2013, Azam is 180 meters long, 590 feet. The largest private motor yacht in the world at an estimated $600 million to build. Its engines produce 94,000 horsepower from a combined diesel and gas turbine system, pushing this enormous vessel past 30 knots, faster than yachts a fraction of its size, which should be physically absurd for something this large. Its fuel tank holds about 1 million liters. Here's the number that ends every conversation. The estimated weekly operating cost is around $1.5 million, with a single fuel fill running $5 to $10 million. It carries a mini-submarine. Its interior is so private the design remains a guarded secret to this day. Azam was commissioned by a member of the Abu Dhabi royal family. This is the ceiling, the most expensive object human wealth has ever put to sea. Owned by people for whom $1.5 million a week is genuinely not a consideration. So here's the honest verdict. Level 1 will burn you if you buy before you understand the running costs. Charter first. Level 2, the 30 to 40 meter yacht, is the smartest real ownership on this list. Big enough to matter, small enough not to ruin you. From level 3 upward, you're no longer buying a boat. You're hiring a permanent staff and signing up for tens of millions in refits every few years, whether you sail or not. And levels 5 through 7 are floating resorts and floating fortresses owned by a few hundred people on Earth who have stopped counting. The single biggest mistake in yachting is the one nobody warns you about at the boat show. It is not the purchase price that gets people, it is the 10% a year forever. The wealthy who stay happy buy the boat they can afford to run, not the boat they can afford to buy. If this was useful, subscribe. I break things down the way they actually work, not the way the broker sells them.